Yeah. Let me take a swig of coffee. Oh, that's delicious. Early day MMA, ladies and gentlemen. UFC London kicking off at the top of the hour. Heavyweights taking center stage. Tommy Aspinall back from a pretty tough knee injury in his most recent fight against Curtis Blades. He will headline against Marcin Tybura, Meatball Molly McCann on the card. As we said on the preview show yesterday, sneaky good card. I think it's going to be a fun watch for those who will be following along today. And again, let me just say the hashtag early day MMA as we welcome you to the People's Pre-Fight Show. We are here answering your questions until the first punches of UFC London are thrown. I am Mike Heck, and joining me, as per usual in this adventure, baddest dash in MMA, producer extraordinaire, and the best chair swinger in all of MMA as well. Casey Leydon. Let's see it. Let's see the chair swing. Oh, look at that. Oh, he's going for
the double.
Wow. That was like Uncle Jesse from Full House status right there. That was slick, dude. That was slick. Well done. So how are you? I mean, you're on the West. It's 11:30 here. I've been awake for hours. I've accomplished a whole bunch today, but it's 8:30 where you're at. Are you excited for this? Is this right in your wheelhouse for start times for fight night cards?
I am down with early morning MMA. I like it. I like it a lot. It is good.
It's the
Because
best.
I have an evening. I actually have an evening. I can see people, and apparently there's things going on at night I didn't know about. There's like clubs and restaurants. This is amazing. I've heard rumors of these things, but I've never actually seen it. So I'll see if it's true tonight. We'll see.
I love it so much. Well, you know why we're here. It's People's Pre-Fight Show. Let's get your questions in. We'll talk UFC London. If there's other comings and goings in the world of mixed martial arts, we could talk about that as well. And we'll go until the card starts and the first two fighters are in the cage.
Who do we got? I don't want to answer that question. No, yeah, I know. I was like, oh, I don't like that question. All right, let's talk about this one.
Who y'all got in the Nathaniel Wood fight? That is one of the main card fights. We will obviously be giving our predictions at the end, but we can talk about this fight now, Casey. I love this fight. Like, it's a great fight. We were talking about on the previous show a little bit yesterday about the Andy Dalton line when it comes to certain divisions, and I feel like Andre Fili is a very talented guy, but he's probably a good example at 145. Like, before you can start sniffing the top 20 or like the back half of the top 15, Andre Fili seems like a pretty solid litmus test to get over. And the one thing about Andre Fili, win or lose, he's always in fun fights. So I really like this matchup. What do you think about it? And are you feeling Nathaniel Wood getting a win in front of his countrymen today in women?
Man, the smart pick is Nathaniel Wood, basically. The smart pick. Everything looks like he should take this. He's what is he on, a 2-fight win streak, or what is it? What on?
He is on a 2-fight win streak. 2-0 since moving up to 45.
Yeah, and two I think very good wins over Rosa and Jourdain. Andre Fili's kind of right. It's interesting. They're kind of keeping him on that kind of. I feel they're not pushing Wood up the kind of ladder too much right now. But this is a great fight. I still believe in Andre Fili. I don't know. There's something about the way he fights, the way he talks. I'm still like, okay, although he hasn't really had a true title run yet, but like, you know what I mean? Like he's like, you're kind of waiting for him to kind of turn that corner, almost to a lesser extent, like Yair. Yair, of course, beat Fili years ago, but you're always kind of waiting for Yair to kind of turn that corner. Like, oh, there's something there. I know he's good. He just hasn't put it together. I've kind of felt the same way about Andre Fili a little bit, and this is a big fight for him. If he can win this fight, it'll be really good for Andre Fili, I think, to get believers kind of back on the hype train for him. But, yeah, this is a tough fight for him. But Wood's so good right now. I like this fight a lot.
It's really good because it just depends on the Fili that shows up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
There's really no gray area with him. He's either on or he's off. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
there's really no in between. I mean, they tried the same thing with Bill Algeo, and Fili won that fight. Joe Anderson Brito, I think it was kind of a short notice situation where Brito stepped in, knocked him out 41 seconds. Maybe it wasn't. Daniel Pineda, June of 2021. Remember that fight? Fili, it was like the best performance of Fili's career. And then he got poked in the eye, and the fight was deemed a no contest. So, and Daniel Pineda is an absolute madman, and Fili is really good in those types of situations. So, I feel like there's value on Andre Fili from like a betting perspective, but if we're just making straight up fight picks, I feel like Nathaniel Wood will get this done. I feel like Wood's very durable, and if this is a close fight, I feel like Wood's gonna get the decision. So it's a great fight. But I'm with you. Anyone that's like straight counting Andre Fili out of this fight, not a great move. Because if he shows up and he's on one today. Mm-hmm. He could win. He could definitely win. So
yeah,
I like the fight. I'm going Nathaniel Wood by decision. Yeah, I think I'm picking Wood by decision. I think that was my official pick, but it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a real good fight.
Yeah. All right. Ooh, this is actually my favorite fight in the card.
Question on everyone's mind is the middleweight title up for grabs in the Paul Craig Andre Muniz fight. We talked about this a little in the preview show, Casey. Yeah. I'm gonna go out and say no.
I'm gonna go no,
but it could happen. Like we could get a very middleweight fight if we get takedowns and guys are getting back up. If the grappling negates itself and this turns into a standing affair, we could get a very middleweight fight. Like a lot of clinch work against the fence and short strikes. Maybe things get ugly in the kickboxing realm. But I have a feeling this fight is going to be absolute insanity. So for as long as it lasts. So I'm not going to say the title's on the line, but could we get two new contenders here? There is that chance, but I'm going to lean on the side of this fight's going to be as exciting as everyone hopes it's going to be.
No, I'm gonna go no. I am still on the Andre Muniz fan club. You know, the hype train. I know Brendan Allen kind of beat the brakes off him last fight and actually choked him out. But I think, to me, that was just an off night for Muniz and a great night for Brendan Allen. So I'm still a big Andre Muniz fan. I know people were kind of poo-pooing Muniz's performance against Uriah Hall, but honestly, I like that performance. I know it wasn't the most exciting thing, but he dominated Uriah Hall for 3 rounds. Uriah Hall is someone who's never been submitted in his whole career. So I had no issues with that fight. I thought that was actually a really good performance from Muniz. I know it wasn't the most exciting, but Hall's never been submitted in his career, so I have no issues with that. So I'm still a big Andre Muniz fan, and I'm very interested to see how Paul Craig looks at 185 because physically he looked awesome. So that's a super exciting fight.
Yeah, he definitely looked a little more drained than he did making 205, but he looked fine. Like I didn't look at him as like, oh, this was a brutal weight cut. I think it was probably a tough one for the first
tough.
one.
It was tough, but
I think he made it.
He made it. Yeah. So a lot of. You know, it's funny. People have been kind of talking crap about this card, but first 2 fights we're talking about. Like, man, I can't wait for this fight. I like it.
Dude, this card is like, look. The problem is there's not a lot of stakes here outside of 2 or 3 fights, outside of just the local fighters fighting in front of local fans. You don't want to let them down. But in terms of matchmaking and the potential of really fun fights, more often than not, this card has it. This card definitely has it. This. I feel like those who are going to sit here and watch it today are going to be like, damn, this is a fun card to watch. It's not going to be, we're not going to talk about it very much after the fact. We might talk about what happens in the main event. We might talk about Molly McCann if she goes out there and just melts Julia Stoliarenko. Might be other things we talk about. This is not going to have staying power, but it is going to be a fun, short-term watch, I think.
Yeah. I do understand the complaints about the ticket prices, but outside of ticket prices, if we're at home, it's the same price to watch it at home. So I from a home viewing experience, yeah, it's not the best London card, yes, but it's a good one. And UFC did have injuries. I think Mokaev was injured, right? Mokaev's still recovering from, or he's booked for a fight pretty soon too. But
he's fighting Tim Elliott in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, so
but and Patty's hurt. I think Patty, like not having Patty, no matter how you feel about the man, the dude generates buzz for a card. Of course. But what's interesting about this one, and I'm looking at Tapology right now, not one fight fell apart. Not one.
Wow, that's unheard of.
It never happens.
No way.
Yeah, nothing. There's no canceled fights anywhere.
Yeah, at least the top fights, those were all the original matchups as far as I remember. Yeah, cool.
How about that? Question: what kind of chances are you giving Stoliarenko after seeing how good she looked on the scale yesterday? What do you think, Casey? I talked about this. I feel like this is going to be... I'm more intrigued about this fight now after seeing her on the scale. Shaheen did not share my enthusiasm. I don't think Jose really did either. I think this fight is much different through my eyes than it was even Thursday after seeing her on the scale.
No, I think Julia Stoliarenko is a very exciting fighter. She's 1-5 in the UFC, 1-5, but her losses are tough losses, and her last loss, Chelsea Chandler, she was fighting a featherweight at 140. Clearly, Stoliarenko can make 125, and she was fighting someone that normally fights at featherweight. Hey, these things happen, And lost to Alexis Davis, good loss. Julia Avila, she was a top 10 fighter before she took her mommy hiatus, and Yana Santos was a top 10 fighter. So I think Stoliarenko was a top 10 bantamweight? No, but we've seen a lot of bantamweights go down to featherweight, and actually turns out not featherweight, flyweight. It turns out, oh, this is my home. So we'll see. I think this is a tough fight with Molly McCann. I don't think this should be the co-main event, but I get it, and I think it will be an exciting fight for sure.
So I'll just come out and say it.
Oh,
you have to pick your spots. We do our staff picks. I try to be very strategic. Like, I try to take chances where I can and try to be different in hopes that I can win. Like, I don't care about tying in these things. Like, I want to win. I'm picking Stoliarenko. I'm picking Stoliarenko to win, and I'm picking her to finish Molly McCann in the first round.
Ooh.
If that happens, I'm winning our picks. Like, there's no doubt about it. And I'm not picking her to, like, go out there and just knock her out on the feet. Stoliarenko's best path to victory is something she can do. She could take Molly down and grapple, and she could submit her. It's very possible. Stoliarenko is a very opportunistic grappler. I feel like her grappling is very underrated. Just as Jessica Rose Clark. I know Jessica Rose Clark isn't a world beater, but she took her down and tapped her real quick. And even if you go back and watch the Julia Avila fight, Avila got the finish, but Stoliarenko looked pretty damn good in that fight up until like the second half of the second round. Then Julia really started to take over, and then she got the finish in the third round. So when she's on, if that, like a lot of, even like the Patty opponents, a lot of people just get overwhelmed by the crowd and the moment and the fanfare. Like, you're in the cage. Like, Julia's going to be the first one out, I'm sure. And she's going to get booed out of the building. And then Molly's going to come out to tremendous fanfare. They're going to go crazy. They're going to be singing. They're going to go nuts. That does things to fighters sometimes when you're on the opposing end of that. Something tells me Julia ain't going to get rattled by any of that. So I think this is going to be a good fight. Molly, if I have to just pick a fight and pick a winner, I'm probably picking Molly. I don't think she finishes her, but I think there is potential for an upset here. I definitely think there is. If Stoliarenko wants to go in there and have a kickboxing match with her, I don't love her chances, but if she wrestles and makes Molly work and her cardio's up to speed, she's got a chance to win this fight. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I'm giving away the picks already, but I'm picking her by decision.
Stoliarenko? Okay.
Yeah.
I think Stoliarenko's best chance to win is to submit her early, because the longer this fight goes, I think it favors Molly. She's better as the fight goes. We saw it in the Carolina fight. Your opportunity to get her is to get her quick. And I feel like Stoliarenko, there are openings there. There are stylistic things that I understand. Like a lot of people have been reaching out to me and saying on Heck of Morning, commenting and stuff. Like, still, they feel like after seeing Julia on the scale, she's a live dog and she's a very popular underdog pick right now amongst people. So, yeah, I am definitely more intrigued after seeing her on the scale. I was very worried about it heading in, but it's the best she's looked on the scale since coming back to the UFC. Like, she had one official fight because it was at the Tough finale with Leah Letson. She lost that fight. But this is the best. Like, in most of those fights are at 35 or the catch weight at 140 for the Chandler fight. This is the best she's looked on the scale out of all of those fights. So,
yeah. And she trains in Europe, right?
I believe she does.
Yeah, Lithuania. Yeah, take this into account too. She's not the highest paid fighter, so it's probably difficult for her to get proper nutrition and training to fly internationally for all these fights. This is a not a local fight, but a couple-hour flight for her from her home base. So I think that really benefited her in making the flyweight limit and looking great on the scale. So people really, I think, underestimate the travel that these fighters have to do with these big weight cuts. So I think her fighting in Europe. We haven't seen it yet in the UFC, so let's. I'm very interested in this fight too.
Yeah, you know what's crazy?
I'm interested in these fights.
I thought Stoliarenko was like 37. She's only 30. I don't know why I thought that about her because she's been around for a hot minute, but she's only 30. Like, she's just now like getting into her athletic prime. So I didn't even realize that. How about that?
Yeah,
she's younger than Molly, right? She's got to be younger than Molly.
What's Molly?
Am I insane?
No, Molly's 33. Molly's 33, so a little younger. Yeah.
All right. It's got to be a fun one. We'll see what happens. What a crazy moment that would be if Stoliarenko gets her out of there. Where's Mokaev? He's always on these London, England cards. Mokaev is fighting Tim Elliott in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, and I think he would have still been injured, or because he had that knee injury in his last fight. He's coming back. He fought Filio in general.
Yeah, he fought Filio hurt. And when did that fight happen? Was that in the last London? Was that 286? It was, right? It was.
Yeah.
That was March. So dinged up, almost got his arm snapped off by Filio.
Was his arm or his knee? I can't remember. I thought it was.
Oh, the knee. Maybe it was the knee. It was the knee. You're right. Whatever it was bad. And it was the knee because he was limping around like he got a baseball bat taken to his leg. And he's been fighting all the time, and he's just been dinged up through a lot of them. He's just going and going and going. Let the man take a little breather. How many times? Mokaev has fought a lot. He's fought, 4 or 5 times already since coming into the UFC? I'm sure he would have liked being on this card, but now he gets a bigger fight. Would you have rather seen him fight Tim Elliott in October in a big fight, like a big step up? Or would you rather see him face a debuting fighter again? I mean, Filio's good, but I feel like this is a better opportunity. It gives him a little more time to chill out. That's the one thing I worry about with Mokaev, just burning himself out too quick, fighting too hurt, not taking enough time to take care of his body. You can't do that. Can't do that.
All right. Ooh, this is a fun question.
Question to both gentlemen. Can you rank some of the best locations UFC holds events with the best atmosphere? Well, London's definitely one of them. I mean, you've been to look, I don't go to a ton of UFC events. I think I've covered 3 or 4. Boston's a pretty good crowd. They come early and they're boisterous and they're loud. What are some of the ones that you remember from the travel days, Casey? You've been all over the world. You've been in all different cities. You've seen it all. I would say Dublin's probably on your list somewhere after that UFC card. What are some of the better locations?
I'll tell you right now. Here's the top 3 right now on the top of my head. And one's not a UFC event, actually. Dublin, Connor
Brandow.
What's his name? Brandow. Unreal. My second craziest atmosphere was actually Bellator Hawaii when Ilima made her. She fought. What's her name? can't remember her name now, but she was in the main event. It was the first time Bellator went back to Hawaii. It was the first time a major MMA event had been in Hawaii. I was there for that event. It was unbelievable. I think all the Hawaiians won that night. And number 3, best atmosphere, is a place that the UFC doesn't go to anymore. It would be the MGM Grand at the MGM Casino. Before they had the T-Mobile, it used to be MGM Grand. That venue was awesome. It was the best fight venue. I do not like the T-Mobile. T-Mobile is bigger. I get it. They make more money. Cool. But the T-Mobile, the MGM Grand was a much more intimate arena. I think it only held like maybe a little over 10. So obviously UFC outgrew it, but there was no it didn't feel like there was a bad seat in the place. It was one of those places. And there was something cool about just going from the casino, going from the poker table, walking 3 minutes, and boom, you're in the arena. It just like fights in casinos, like big fights in casinos, just I don't know, it has a different feel. Like they feel like Vegas. When you think of Vegas fight nights, I think of those MGM Grand cards. The T-Mobile ones, once you go inside the T-Mobile, honestly, it just feels like you're in any other kind of major basketball arena.
Like every arena?
Yeah, every arena. It doesn't feel like you're in Vegas anymore. MGM Grand, it always felt like you're in Vegas. I don't know. So that's my answer for you.
Yeah, never got to see a fight there. I'm trying to think if the International Fight Week. No, not even the presser, or I don't even think like the ceremonial weigh-ins for 276 were at MGM Grand. I think everything was at T-Mobile. Yeah, I don't think I've ever stepped foot in the MGM Grand.
Oh, that's a bummer. It's a cool venue.
Yeah,
I like it. All right.
Was it Valerie Latorno?
Valerie Latorno. That was it. That was
okay.
it. Valerie Latorno. Yes. Thank you.
Will either Aspinall or Tybura's new physiques come into play at all? Yes, Aspinall weighed in a little heavier. I didn't even see what Tybura weighed in at.
Actually, I didn't see any images of it.
Yeah, I think Aspinall was like the heaviest he's been for a fight in the UFC. He was 258, which I was kind of like, I remember looking at that number and I was like, ooh, that's a little. She's 252 for Volkov. He was 251 for Blades. And Tybura, I think, just looked a little better. I mean, really, to be honest with you, I wasn't like concerned about either of them making weight. I was worried about Paul Craig and Julian Stoliarenko more than anything. Oh, look at this. Yeah. Tybura weighed in at 246. He was 253.5 for the Ivanov fight. He was 252.5 for Romanov. 249 for Volkov. 251 for Walt Harris. Yeah, so he's a little slimmer, Casey. Do you think this comes into play at all, or do you think this is just
a slimmer Tybura?
A fight with a little slimmer, slim.
Nah, we'll see. I don't know. I really don't know. Really, all my questions are on Aspinall, not Tybura. In this fight, is Aspinall the same guy? Will he have the same mobility? He's a big dude, and if you're a big dude and your leg ain't working, that ain't good. So, but he said he actually fought a few fights with a bad leg, right? Like a kind of a partially torn knee, right? It wasn't just like the knee tore in that fight. He actually had it partially torn and then he completely tore it in the Blades fight, right? So we may see like even a better Aspinall. Who knows? But I think Tybura is the B side, so I haven't really put too much thought on him. To be honest, it's gonna really about to see how Aspinall looks in there.
Yeah.
Like pre-injury, like this. Aspinall easy, you know. But now there's some questions, you know. We'll see.
No, I mean Tybura is getting no love at all. So,
dude, and I feel bad saying this, but I'm honest about. I mean, I gotta be honest about it. Like, if you told me to name your best Tybura highlight, I can't really think of one. I can kind of see him fighting. I see him standing and moving. But if you told me, oh, remember this Tybura thing? I don't know. And I think there's two fights you probably remember for him more than anything. One is the Romanov fight because it was so insane. Okay, and then Romanov just
collapse. And the other one's the Greg Hardy win. I would say you remember.
Okay, yeah.
Because he just went out there and destroyed Greg Hardy.
Yeah. But then a lot of people have destroyed Greg Hardy. That's the thing now. So I kind of, the Greg Hardy win was great, but I just see Tai Tuivasa knocking out Greg Hardy. And after that, Greg Hardy kind of exited my mind. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Was Tybura like the first one to do it, to like just absolutely run him over like that? Or am I? Yeah, he was. Because Volkov had he had the loss to Alan Crowder, which is a DQ. The Ben Sassoli win was overturned to a no contest because of the inhaler. Yeah. Volkov, he went to a decision with him, but Tybura was like the first one to actually like go out and kill him. And then Ty did it, and then Sergey Spivak did it before he went on into the world of crazy boxing.
That's actually a pretty tough run for Greg Hardy. Actually, Tybura, Tuivasa, and Spivak. To be honest.
Yeah, man, that's a tough run, man. That's a tough run.
Yeah, actually, no, throwing Volkov in there too. Shoot. Yeah, I know we got like the Green and Castro's. Okay, that's on the lower end of the heavyweight totem pole, but yeah, then, yeah, he didn't get easy. Yeah, he actually after a couple fights, he did not get easy fights in the UFC for sure. Looking back on it now. Cool. All right. Yeah, let's talk about a lot of people asking about this.
Do you think Craig retires if he loses? He lost 2 in a row, and now the drop down away is usually a desperation move near the end of his career. How old is Paul Craig?
But Craig's he's talked about retirement a lot, hasn't he? Like why is this coming
He's
up?
35. He'll be 36 in November. I don't know. I guess that would depend on how it goes, like how this fight looks. I mean, this dude has a impressive win over the guy who just vacated the light heavyweight title. Like a crazy win. Like his resume is real good. Mm-hmm. He lost to Ozdemir.
That's fine,
Johnny Walker knocked him out. I mean, Johnny Walker knocks a lot of dudes out. So,
yeah, I mean,
I don't know. We'll see.
If he's retiring because he's just ready to move on with his life, cool. But if he loses this fight, no matter what, I hope he doesn't retire. I enjoy watching him fight. I enjoy his pre-fight talk. I enjoy his weigh-ins. I enjoy his intensity. So I hope he doesn't retire. But I don't know what Paul Craig is going on with outside the cage. Maybe he just got other things he wants to do. Because I mean, who was talking about it? The guy who just did a semi-retirement, Jimmy Crute. Like when Jimmy Crute said, "I'm not retiring, but I'm taking a long break." Talking about like I'm obsessed with MMA, and it might be a bad thing. And I get that. So I get Ian
Heinisch just did the same thing. Says he's been dealing with concussion issues, so he's taking a bunch of time off until he gets his head right.
Not retiring, just kind of taking a break. And but maybe I don't know if Paul, because you can get burnt out in this sport. Being in the gym 6 days a week, 2 days, and then going through all this, and then getting your butt kicked, and then walking home with barely breaking even. It's a brutal sport. So I hope Greg doesn't retire, but I don't know why. But why is this talk? Why are people talking about this a lot? Did he say something earlier about retirement? Did I miss it?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know. I mean, maybe just because he's 35 and the move down is like if he wants to become a champion. Like if he goes out there and just gets run over today, then I think he has to come to terms that fighting for. I mean, I think he realized after getting knocked out by Johnny Walker, like I'm never fighting for a title at 205.
Yeah, never gonna be that top tier. Yeah, so yeah.
So if Muniz just goes out and just trucks him today, maybe he'll feel like, well, I guess I'm not gonna be a champion anywhere, like at any weight class in the UFC. So what am I fighting for?
Yeah. I had fun.
We'll see.
Had a good ride. Yeah. And honestly, if you're in that kind of middle of the pack, like. Just from a financial standpoint, you're not making good money. You're just kind of, getting by. Let's talk a little bit something away from this card.
What do you think about Sandhagen versus Font? Hey, worked out nice, right? Just for those who don't know, because I had like a lot of people saying like I had people hitting me up on on Instagram, like, do you think Song Yadong is going to get a replacement? No, Song's not fighting August 19th, and he wasn't going to be fighting anyways, which is why they made this fight so easily. Because right around the same time that Umar was out, they found out Song was out of the Font fight too. So Font didn't even have an opponent for Boston, so it was just easy to kind of do this. And if you're Rob Font, it's a no-brainer. You're 36. If you want to make a run at a belt, you get this opportunity to fight Corey Sandhagen in a main event. You got to take it, especially if Boston, if there's no opponent for Boston. Like, I know how much fighting in Boston means to him, but I think at the end of the day, you do the math, 2 and 2 makes 4. If you want to get to a title shot, this is the fight you got to take right now. So worked out nice. I think it's a great fight. Kind of bummed to see. I mean, I'm not bummed for the fight, but I was really intrigued by Umar getting this opportunity and how he would do against Corey Sandhagen. Because if he went out there and just beat the hell out of Corey Sandhagen, it would be real interesting to see it'd be real interesting to see like what they would have done with him. Would they just thrown him right into the vacant title fight if Aljo vacates the title and moves up to 45? Did they just chuck him right in there with O'Malley? Like, where does he go at 135 if he just goes in there and just annihilated Corey Sandhagen? So kind of a bummer we're not going to get it, but he's hurt. So I don't get on him for being spot. Holy smokes. They're not wasting time, Casey. They just started the broadcast and both fighters are already in the cage. This is nuts.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, let's go real quick. Do we have bonus predictions?
All right. Let me bring up the card real quick. Bonus predictions. I'm going fight of the night. I'm gonna be wild here. I'm gonna go Molly McCann versus Julia Stoliarenko.
Okay.
I just think the crowd will be really hyped for that fight. I don't know. I'm feeling it. Oh, and
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. And performance, Aspinall, and other performance. Ooh. Oh man. I'm gonna take a wild shot and go. Where is this? Josh. Ooh, God, I like Lerone Murphy too. I'm gonna go Johnny Parsons. Performance. I'm gonna be taking a big knockout over Danny Roberts.
Aspinall's gonna get one. I mean, if my Stoliarenko pick comes true, then she's definitely getting one.
Yeah.
Fight of the night, I'm gonna go the Davy Grant, Daniel Marcos fight for fight of the night.
Nice one.
That's what I'll go with. All right, main card picks. Let's rifle through these. First fight about to begin. Lerone Murphy, Josh Kulabau. Who you got?
In a very exciting fight, I'm taking Murphy by decision.
I got Lerone Murphy, 3rd round TKO. I think he needs to make a statement here. I think it's a very competitive fight until this moment happens. But I kind of feel like Lerone needs to get him out of there. And Kulabau is tough as shit, but I feel like everything just kind of lines up for a Lerone Murphy breakthrough, even though it's a competitive fight and he's got a willing dance partner. So I'll go Murphy 3rd round finish in a really close fight until that happens. Jai Herbert taking on Fares Zayem. Who do you got there?
Mr. Herbert, KO round 2.
I got Herbert decision. I don't think this fight is going to be very thrilling. It could be, but I feel like if Jai's going to win, he's going to have to wrestle. And I think he will. I think he's got to win this fight. So I think he goes out and wrestles a little bit more and comes through with the decision. Audrey Muniz, Paul Craig. Who you got?
Muniz decision.
I got Muniz 2nd round submission. I think it's going to be a crazy scramble fest, and I think Muniz catches him in something crazy, and I'm just hoping for insanity. Wow. Perez just whooping Filio. Just keeps knocking him down.
Wow.
He keeps inviting Perez up. Yeah, they're not messing around. There's like nobody there. I just see nothing but blue seats. This is wild. Oh, he just keeps kicking him in the body. Those are nasty. I got Nathaniel Wood decision against Andre Fili.
I'm going Andre Fili TKO round 3.
I got Stoliarenko for TKO. Oh, damn, that'd be crazy.
I'm going off. Yeah.
My risky pick. If this happens, I win our pick is Julius Stoliarenko first round submission. But if that doesn't happen, Molly's going to win. But I'm going with Stoliarenko.
I'm going for the former Invicta champion to win a decision in a fun fight. In a fight of the night performance.
Ooh. I mean, damn! This fight is awesome. All right, real quick. I got Tommy Aspinall first round submission.
Tommy Aspinall second round submission.
Ooh, this fight's awesome. All right, hit the music. Go watch this fight. Flyweight just getting after it. Both guys just chucking them. Ooh, takedown by Filio after getting rocked and knocked down a couple of times with body shots. And now Filio's got his back. What a start. 2 minutes and 40 seconds into this fight. We're already off to the races. So thank you all very much. Post-fight show going down as soon as the main event ends. And we'll see you then. So enjoy early day MMA. For Casey, I am Mike Heck. Have fun watching these fights, everyone. Godspeed.